Welcome to the Bunkhouse Podcast, broadcasting from the confluence of outdoor recreation and nature connectivity. I'm your host, Josh Crumpton, founder of Spoke Hollow Outdoors and the Los Salvaje food truck. My life as a rancher, guide, foodie, and conservationist has provided the opportunity to meet some really great people. And the Bunkhouse is where we get to introduce them to you. In this episode, I'm joined by my main man, Davin Topol, Whiskey Tea, the dude, the distiller, the cocktail king. We're talking with our homegirl, one of our besties, one of our faves, Kayla Lockhart. We talk about Minnesota, jacket patches, dove hunting, and how to tame a wild Lockhart. But seriously, we also discuss some important topics like the Mayfly Project, the power of being vulnerable, and the importance of community. This conversation is chaos. It's a wild ride, and I hope that it makes y'all smile. With that said, let's get this thing started.
Just making sure the sound works.
Yeah. Well, we're here with our good friend, Kayla Lockhart.
Hi, that's me.
Yippee-ki-yay-la.
We're going to talk about all of the things. You know, it's been like a year since we've all been. No, that's not true.
Quite a year.
You guys were at Borracho Pescador, but I wasn't at Borracho.
Yeah, we had a good time.
since
It was
the-
awesome.
Then since the three of us have been, it's been like 9 months,
Yeah, probably about that.
like a pregnancy.
When we were in
I
Montana.
was just going to say that.
Were you?
Pregnancy.
Great minds. Great minds.
Those
Yeah.
lines.
At Trout Camp,
Yeah.
which was freaking awesome.
Trout camp. The good days.
Uh,
What's up, Raw Dog Ron?
Raw Dog Ron.
You don't even need a call.
Right?
Yeah.
It's just you.
You know.
I learned all that from Ron.
Yeah, we did. Those are good
we learned
days.
a lot from
Good
Ron.
days on the water.
The costumes, I was just, next year now I know to bring a costume. That was my
we-
only regret.
You don't bring a costume wherever you go?
Well, I mean, you see my kits, they're pretty costume forward already.
Yeah, what did
My
we have? He was
personality is a
he was a
costume.
skeleton. Was he a
He was
skeleton?
a skeleton.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he was like, we didn't even finish the sentence. He was like, costumes? I'm wearing one tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
He's been waiting for someone to ask him to wear a costume.
It's a river guide thing to always, like I said, like you have a costume, at least one costume in your bag. It could be anything.
I learned
anything.
that on my whitewater rafting
Yep,
trip.
yep.
All those guys
So
had
I can
costumes.
tell
Costume.
Ron is definitely a
Oh, yeah,
guide.
he's on that.
Yeah.
The thing was, I wasn't in a costume. I was just wearing my dress.
Yeah,
But that's
that
the thing
was
is,
just life.
right?
That was
it
not-
was a
that
dress
was
day for
not-
you,
yeah.
so Ron just thought it was costume
Yeah.
day, and Ron didn't realize,
He's like,
no, this
wait.
is just a
Just
Wednesday.
another day for Josh wearing a dress.
Oh, I guess we're doing costumes.
I guess-
Let
yeah.
me go take my dress off and put on a costume. Josh
Listen,
says.
it's been clearly defined to me, so I'm just going to give it. It is not a dress; it's a skirt.
Yeah,
Right?
very-
Is that correct?
it's a squirt.
Could be a squirt.
That's,
Yeah, yeah.
that's different. Oh, this is gonna
Squirt.
be. This
Squirt.
is gonna
That's
be a
what
good
I meant
one.
squirt.
Pronounced-
I meant
pronounced
Is
squirt.
squirt.
That's the European pronunciation for it.
Squirt.
What are we drinking, Davin?
Oh,
are we
so
drinking?
today, yeah, we are drinking Aviations, the classic Aviation.
Ooh.
This is a
You
really.
can't- not what's in it. Don't tell them what's in
okay,
it.
I won't tell
they
you what-
have to go to the YouTube.
They'll go to the
You guys
YouTube.
gotta
I'll just
go to
tell
the
you.
YouTube.
I'll just
what's
tell
in
you
it.
what it's kind of all about. But it's
Liquid magic.
it's a classic drink. It goes back quite a ways. Super simple to make. You'll find out on the YouTube channel just how
Yeah.
easy it is to make, and just three
So-
ingredients.
What is it
like-
about? What is
I
this
think it was
stuff?
invented from like the pilots when they make themselves a cocktail before they take off for the
This
aviation,
is
right?
exactly.
They still do that, I think.
Nailed it. Nailed it. That's exactly what it was. The Wright brothers actually came up with this cocktail right before flight. Their first flight.
This is how the idea.
I mean, listen. If the airplane hadn't been invented, I feel
An
like you
aviation
had
drink
to
would not have
be
been invented.
drunk or high or something
Right, right.
to even go after that.
This
That's it. I can.
this would have been
that's a good
called
point.
the
Liquid.
nautical.
Ooh,
Right? 'Cause of the
because there's only
boats.
boats. I picked up what you threw down.
Right?
The nautical.
But yeah, it's a fun, easy drink, like I said. So check out the YouTube channel for the recipe and a little bit of
delicious.
background on it.
It's
Beautiful.
really good.
It's
and
like-
I always thought I hated gin, so
Oh, that's
you have
right.
converted
This is,
me.
This is
I
like the
honestly
third
was
time
like-
you've been served gin.
This whole trip I drank gin.
You've been
and
drinking my
whole
gin,
life,
too. Like,
I've
it's-
been like, gin? No, not a chance.
Yeah, and that's something I like to do with my gin is like turn people's idea of what gin
Well, I've
should
only
be.
ever had it where it tastes
turned
like
around.
I've just put an air freshener in my mouth and sucked on it.
Right,
And I was
right.
like, oh, people like this? Cool,
Yeah.
cool.
You know, Davin's like, that's a thing I like to do with my gin is find somebody who says they hate gin and
It
just
is.
force
And then
them
force
to
them to
drink
drink
it.
it.
Quite
I
literally is
just
a
tie
hobby
them
of mine.
down and I'm like, you're
They
going to
order
drink
like
this.
a margarita and he just hands them just gin on the
Just
rocks.
straight gin.
I'll have a rum and coke. What is
Gin on the
this?
rocks.
It's a rum and coke. That's
Hot
what you
chocolate?
ordered. Yeah.
that's just hot gin. Just hot
Wow,
gin.
is
Coffee in
this
the morning?
gin? Yeah,
Gin.
yeah. It's
hot.
not hot chocolate at all.
Yeah,
no,
about
I like
140.
gin. Told you. It's one of
I
my
mean,
hobbies.
I will say it worked.
Yeah.
The catfish
Yeah.
gin worked.
Catfish gin.
Love
That
it.
sounds
Love it.
terrible. That sounds
As long as fishing and gin is involved, I'm in.
Yeah.
Yeah. We just finished up a weekend together at the
Another fun-filled weekend.
AF
Yes.
Hill Country Hoedown.
Hoedown.
Go
Mhm.
down.
Yeah, that was fun.
It was
Yeah.
a lot of fun. I mean, that's where my
Talking.
cup gets full. We got to teach. Shout out to Ashton, the little kid that was ripping on the fly rod that we taught.
Taught him
Billsby.
how to cast a fly rod.
Yeah,
And then
we had lots of people. The fly tying went great.
Yeah.
Everyone got their own woolly bugger.
Davin, your bar.
That
setup,
was a hit.
cool.
The
That
bar
big
was a hit. Not gonna lie.
I appreciate. Yeah, no.
The cinnamon trick sold.
The cinnamon
Burning
trick.
cinnamon. I just burnt. I came home and burnt all the cinnamon
Did
in my
you
house.
just
Oh,
to,
yeah.
just to
Just lighting it on
permeate the
fire.
house? I smudged the house in cinnamon.
I mixed it with gunpowder though. It really lights up that way.
Amplifies-
It's you make a
amplifies it
pile
to-
of gunpowder underneath the
You thought
cinnamon.
your
Cinnamon
sparks
to-
were good with the cinnamon. Wait till you try
We'll
gunpowder.
take this to 11.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think the bar ended up. I got a standing ovation at the end of the talk.
Was it just
did.
me? I'm just
It
kidding.
was. It was with a little bit of help from my friends, but no, it was a lot of fun.
It was
Yeah,
so much
yeah.
fun. It was good times. And that was my first time like doing something in Austin that wasn't like going to a wedding. So I had a blast.
Everybody comes to Austin for weddings.
And I will say it was a banger of a wedding, but that was a lot of fun. And so many people eager to like learn about the outdoors here. You guys have a cool community. It's cool being able to see that.
It was neat to be in there with the brands and all the different
There's
various
so
other
many
industry
brands
people.
in
Like
Texas and
Yeah.
good brands too.
Yeah.
Like all that cocktail stuff. Like I was taking photos of all those little brands that you're showing.
Yeah, yeah.
It is really.
And a lot of them are, e-commerce too. So like things like this kind of allow people to come, touch, feel, taste
Yeah.
what people have out there in the world that they've seen maybe on the gram or, social media. But now you actually get to taste, feel, touch, and purchase.
well,
at-
so much
at
of it
things
is
like this.
DTC now. You know, it's all direct to consumer. A lot of things
Yep.
because the retail footprint has shrunk and the cost
Yeah.
for small businesses to go retail
Yeah.
is it's tough.
It's extreme.
you know?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What I thought was cool was hearing a little bit more about your journey into your outdoor community.
Oh yeah.
That was pretty.
I like winged my little. I was so nervous for my speech, but I was really glad.
Knocked
that
it
I
out
did
though.
Killed
It was
it, yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people appreciated, what you had to say, and
Yeah, there
a lot
was
of
a
people
girl
feel
in
the
the
same way.
audience, and she didn't even know I was from Minnesota. She's like, "Are you from Minnesota?" And I was like, "Did I say bag?" What give it away? She's
Oh,
like,
you
"She was the
betcha.
loon on your shoulder," and I was like, "Okay, that also gives it away." But
Oh, that's right, the
I'm
loon.
very proud of
State
being from
bird.
Minnesota, but
State bird.
I see how you're doing that with the mic there.
I want to make sure people hear the ice.
It's like the
chinking,
it's
so
like
they
the
feel
here.
like
Wait,
they're
wait.
here,
Can
you
we do
know?
that? Here,
I like
it's
that.
like
Oh.
this.
Yeah, the old.
What is that called? The double chug?
It's called I love ya.
Oh,
It's
that's a
I
good
love
one.
you
Close,
in
getting
bar
close.
talk.
Getting close to the homies.
I don't know. That's the way you like when Dav and I were wrapping our arms around each other and
Yeah.
like we're drinking. I don't. Well,
Wait, we
anyways,
just started.
Yeah.
Let's wait till we.
we're all very
Sometimes
close
video is
here.
way better than
yeah,
podcasting.
you'll have to like go to
This
the-
mic,
to the
I feel like
YouTube
they're gonna
page.
hear.
the show.
If you want to see that, it may not, that might not even make it onto the Spotify. That may just be that on YouTube.
But yeah, I enjoyed being a little like, and I also am like so grateful that you invited me out to like be able to share my story because it's not something that I grew up doing, and so the outdoors really is the only reason I was able to. So thanks for inviting me to this.
Yeah, well, thanks
Absolutely.
for
A lot of
being
fun.
here for this. I've had a question. I've had this question for a while actually, and I've never asked you.
Favorite color's green.
Hi, my name is Kayla. My favorite color is
It's actually
green.
kind of lavender right now too. So
Yeah, I mean, this drink is that? Would you call this? I would call it periwinkle.
I'd call it lavender country.
Yeah. So
Lavender
you guys
country.
can't see this either. The
Great band if you've
cocktail
never heard of
itself
it.
has kind of a lavender. I'm going to say lavender hue to it as well.
Lavender. I'm gonna say lilac.
Periwinkle to me is kind of more
Lilac.
that blue purple. Yep.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with lilac.
I really am happy about our ADHD conversations too.
This is good.
We're just
Yeah.
like the ping pong ball. Bing, 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 bing.
But the question, so you wear a lot of really fantastic things.
I hope that's
in the
sarcasm.
places. It's I love you have
The
such
style.
a
Do
great.
have
The style is on
unique
point.
I've
sense of
always
style.
been very obsessed with finding things, and I'm somebody that when I see something, I immediately can put sentimental value to material things. But I enjoy the hunt for things.
Yep.
I will pick through old abandoned houses. Since I was a kid, I'd done it with my grandma and grandpa. We'd go to garage sales. We'd find all sorts of things, and that instilled to me like. First time I saw my grandpa like haggle for a deal, and I was like, "Oh, this is it. I love
So
this."
everybody,
Like,
haggle is a
your
Minnesota
mic
term
up,
that
just-
grandpas always used to do. Is and it's
Go ahead.
haggle.
But yeah, I love finding stuff, and I go to estate sales, garage sales. I sold vintage for a while, but then it turns out I want to keep it all. So
I sold.
business failed.
Much like a
So I didn't
drug
sell.
dealer.
I'm more like-
right? Like
I'm
I
more like-
was a drug dealer.
I was on the sauce, and I couldn't get rid of
you
my.
just kept on doing your own supply, bro.
That's exactly it.
I'm gonna be a dealer.
It is. It's funny because I would make fun of it at home because steelhead fishing, you got to get to the runs like 3 a.m. Even though you can't fish when the sun's not out, but you have to like claim your spot.
Yep.
And I'm like, I don't know, that's lame. I don't want to like elbow people, but if a state sale is I will get there at 2 a.m. and be first in line. I will never stop. I'll be the old lady that
the
is
other pro
continuing.
move
Yeah.
is showing up the last
Do you
day
hoard
of the
this
estate
stuff, or do you
sale
let-
for
50% off, you know. It's a Midwest
Yeah,
deal.
again,
We
yeah.
got it.
Do you let go of some of this stuff, or you just
Only
stockpiling
if
it?
I cannot figure out a way to utilize it. I've been trying so hard, but my basement, no joke, is it's a thrift
It's a
store.
it's a shop,
thrift store.
yeah.
I have so many amazing items though. And that's the thing; they're all so good. And when I go to estate sales, I always am like, what is the story behind this? Who was it? And if they don't know it, I'll look up their address and then look up their name, and then I'll look them up and find any.
and then
I'm
I'll
such a
23
weirdo
and me
like that,
them
but
and get their
I-
whole history.
and I get their social security number. No, I'm just
Well,
kidding.
you're definitely a curator of things. I've seen you
Yes.
at least take
Yeah.
4 or 5 things out of the bunkhouse and put them into your bag.
That's because I'm a klepto. Watch out. No, I'm just kidding. I am very much like that. I honestly, like in another life, my dream job would have been able to curate spaces with vintage items and make it in a modern way, like hotels or bars or stuff like that. I would love to do that.
You could still do that.
Yeah,
Chase that dream.
I should.
Chase
and
that
just
dream.
call it the kleptomanic curator.
Here's the thing.
I'm the
That's
kleptomatic
patented.
curator.
You guys better not steal
So
that.
what you're gonna want to do is you're not gonna want to invite any of your neighbors over, okay? Because I've curated this. I curated all this
That
stuff for people who are
curation
close
looks a lot
to
like
you.
something that I've
very
had
mean-
before.
Yes.
It's a meaningful room. I've put it together, from things
That
like
frame has a
should
picture of my
remind you of
family
people who are
in-
close
in
to
it.
you.
I do love that. I mean, that's the best thing about all those little weird. They're all conversational pieces in itself too, which I love a good storytelling.
I want to
thing.
know about your patches because
My patches.
I see this jacket appears from
Yeah,
time to
there's
time.
some good ones.
Pick a couple of your favorites and
My
just give
favorite
us a story.
is definitely. Oh gosh, there's so many good ones. I mean, obviously, I love the Minnesota canoe. I used to do backpacking. Well, it's not really backpacking if you have a canoe, but in the Boundary Waters, Minnesota, our friends would do like a week-long trip there. And the Boundary Waters is a magical place if you've never been.
Still need to do
And
it.
I
wanna go.
love. It's funny. It takes leaving something to really have so much.
I'll raise my
fondness
hand to
for
that.
it. Oh,
Yeah.
Gosh, I didn't
appreciate
realize
Minnesota
how,
when
I
I
didn't
was there.
appreciate it when I
Yeah.
was there. But I also didn't see the first mountain until I was 25. Like I didn't leave Minnesota, and nobody in my family's left. My dad still lives on the same street he grew up
Same
on.
story.
Never been on an airplane. Nobody in my family has left. My grandpa was a truck driver, so he's seen some sights. But any family vacation was just going up north, is what we call it in Minnesota. But
It's really interesting. I am surrounded by Minnesotans.
Mm.
Davin and I
Yeah,
talked about
Minnesota
this multiple
nice.
times. Like,
once we find our people, though, we're like, we're
Yeah.
not-
We all gravitate.
Yeah.
Yeah. We
Yep.
find our kind.
yeah, and Mark Vorderbergen, who does the foraging classes
Ooh, that's a
here.
fun name.
Yeah, Vorderbergen.
Vorderbergen.
And you should
Hold on.
come and do one of those.
The
at some
foraging
point. They're
classes that
so
he does
awesome.
are
I
amazing.
would I would love to. And
May 20th.
I don't know if you've ever met me, but like, no, not in my vocabulary.
Yeah.
Big fan of yes.
We'll take that out of the show for your sake.
You hear that?
No, Mark, he's like Minnesota. So this is a funny thing. I find myself surrounded by Minnesotans, but Mark is like, Minnesotans are like hobbits. He's like, they're
love
like
this
fat.
already. You could have ended it there and I'd be like, sold.
They're fat,
We're like
happy,
hobbits.
and living in the Shire. And they don't like to travel far from the Shire.
But one or two.
I'm like, well, a bunch of you are leaving because I'm hanging out with you all over the place.
Yes.
Yeah.
We are leaving because we have a little bit of curiosity instilled in us. But my dad said it too. Like when I left when I was 24 is when I like was thinking about it. And
when you left the Shire.
And I left the Shire and my dad was like,
Frodo.
He's like, you can always come back. And like that, because I was really nervous and I was like, well, that just took away all the scaries of it. But my dad was like, I'm so content. He's like, nothing is better than what I have right here. And I sometimes am a little bit envious because I have the side of me that is a little bit curious and wants to see what else is out there. And I'm constantly like, I thrive off of new things and what it gives to me and meeting new people and new stories and all these things. But my dad's very opposite where he's like, I love it that I get the same cup of coffee every day. I know exactly what each day is going to look like. And he's so content in that and so happy in his content, which is something that I'm like growing as I get older to definitely gravitate towards. But I still have a lot to see and do in life though, so we'll see. But I still go back every year. We do our Lockhart annual fishing trip. Y'all are welcome. Everyone is always invited.
Just down the road here?
No, Lockhart's
like
last name.
barbecue.
I mean, you can get on the 35 and take that north all the way up, and you'll get there.
The town was named after
I still
you guys.
never been to Lockhart,
after
Texas.
Minnesotans,
Dude,
right?
every time I'm in Texas, my dad, every time.
You got to go to Lockhart.
You know there's a name of a town that's our name, Lockhart. And I was like, yes, Dad. You've told me every time I've been
You
in
got to
Texas.
steal the city sign.
Still there. I did take a picture of the sign and send it to my
Welcome to
dad.
Lockhart.
And he's like, see, I told you. I was like, yeah, because I didn't believe you.
So if
Because Google doesn't exist, Dad.
If you come down in September
Yes.
for Texas Christmas, for dove
Wait.
hunting.
You guys have Christmas in a different date this
Oh, we
year?
have several
Wow. I know
Christmases.
Texas is big, but you guys got all of your own holidays?
We have our own holidays. So the opener of hunting season starts with dove season.
September
I've always
1.
wanted to dove hunt. I never have. I've only done chucker and quail. I've never duck hunted either because I was definitely like, I'm such like a, I don't know if you know this about me, but I have a little bit of energy. And so I was always afraid to start duck hunting because I was like, my ADHD brain is going to be like, get bored and get like squirrel brain. But
It happens early in the morning. I have a lot of energy too, but it happens early enough in the morning.
where you're not ready to like get on that peak energy level yet.
Yeah, what I've found is that, and I've seen this with you too, actually, already in several of our adventures.
I have
You kind of like a bird, where like if we put a sheet over you,
We'll just cover her up.
Don't
with
give
some
away my
sheet.
secrets. People are going to know how to tame me now.
look, I'm the same way.
Oh, people are going to know how to tame me.
Okay, here come the ducks. Take the sheet off.
No, duck hunting kind of happens.
Here they come. Take the sheet off, Kayla. Okay, get ready.
Duck hunting.
That's my favorite thing. I feel like I just puked in compliments. No one's going to be able to compliment me farther than that.
Duck hunting happens early in the morning, like 4:30. Like you're out there, it's still dark. So I feel like your ADHD would not kick in.
Yes.
Because it's
There's
dark.
Yep.
And as the sun rose, like the ducks are going to start coming in at shooting light. I feel like if it turned into a long grind of a hunt, it's going to be really not good for you. So
Yeah, if you're
late
just sitting,
season
I need
duck.
to like.
Yeah, you need to be there for like teal
I grew
opener.
up white-tailed
Teal
hunting,
opener.
and that's you just sit.
Oh, you gotta sit forever.
Sit
Wait.
quiet. Yep.
And I remember being a kid, and I'd be like, "Dad, can I just like walk around?"
Shh.
I was like, "What's the deer call? Come on."
And then was he like, after you asked like the fifth time, he's like, yeah, you might as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then you already scared him up.
Yeah, they're done.
Oh no, my dad was so.
Oh, look, there's one over
cutthroat.
there.
He's like, "You stay there and don't move. I'm gonna walk around." My dad, because he only archery hunts.
Oh, yeah.
He's that guy.
That's committed.
But he knows that you staying there and don't move means that you're going to make a bunch of noise by
100%.
yourself.
And
they're gonna
And
move
so
over to
he's
where
going
he
to
is.
move over.
Dude.
They're going to move over where he is, trying to get away
100%.
from this crazy noise that's going
And to
on.
add to it, like for in Minnesota, like it was always like early November was when it would open. So Halloween, we'd get all this candy, and my dad would be like, "Cool, mine. I'm bringing this hunting," and he'd steal all of our Halloween candy to bring it to the freaking deer camp. Oh, that's a good time. You guys should go You guys should come to Lockhart Deer Camp. It's so fun.
I think I'm just
that.
going to steal my kids' Halloween candy from now on.
Yeah, that's also
Pro
good.
move.
That's also a pro move too.
move.
He
Actually-
would be like, I need it because the chocolate keeps me warm. Don't you want me to be warm? And
You don't want me
I
to
say
be
that
cold.
about- I say that about
oh
whiskey.
shit. I was
Yeah.
like,
Guilt
yeah.
and
that is-
and candy?
Yeah, and that's when the people pleaser
Are you guys
kicked
very?
in for
Are you,
me.
are you super Catholic? Because like guilt and
No.
candy. No.
No, unfortunately, I didn't know a lot about religion growing up. But I had a colorful childhood though. So
Fair
but
enough.
My dad grew up Lutheran, which to be
Yeah,
honest,
Lutheran.
Yeah, I think that's
we
a
grew up-
Minnesotan
It
thing,
is.
yeah.
It's a very Norwegian thing. Yeah.
which we're Scottish, so we should.
But you're surrounded by
Yeah, that was it.
Swedes
My
and
dad is
Nords.
so obsessed with Scottish heritage. It's
Yeah.
so my dad loves Jim Beam. Jim
Okay.
Beam hates him, but he loves Jim Beam, and he would get drunk and have the most perfect Scottish accent. For like a good chunk of my
Yeah, a
life.
good brog.
Good chunk of my life,
can't do it.
I thought we came from Scotland, like for sure. And I was like, he's got the perfect accent. It wasn't until I was about 10, my dad's like, oh no, we've never left Minnesota. And I was like, what? I was like, what? My whole
Four
world is turned
generations
upside down.
Minnesotan. Yeah.
And that's when I was like, oh, everything that comes out of people's mouth, like, you know, when you're a kid, you just think everything your parent tells you is the
Yeah,
truth.
oh, yeah,
And they know everything.
And then you realize at one point, like, they
that's
knew
when
nothing.
that switch hit. And I was like, oh, so now I can mess with you.
So I used to tell my daughter, my oldest, I've done it kind of with all the kids, pick something, but my daughter, my oldest, I used to tell her, hey, look at that moo chicken. Like, that's a buck cow. Do you hear the cow go buck
That's the best part about being a parent is to be able to like mess with them.
Totally told her that like chickens were cows were chickens. It was great. It was fun.
Oh yeah, my dad did all that.
She'll have that forever. That's something that we'll share forever, that trauma.
I was gonna say, no, the trauma
bonded
won't,
forever.
the trauma won't happen until she's like with friends and
That's
like,
exactly
look at
how it happens.
look at all the chickens. Those are cows. Daddy
Yeah,
said
my
those were
dad said-
chickens.
Yeah.
And that's what they are.
And they move.
She learned very
You
early
also keep her
on
away from
that
Google,
dad
right?
is full
Yeah.
of shit.
There's so
She
many
was
times.
like, my dad is full of shit.
So
That's
many
what she
times that
learned.
happens
Big
where
epiphany.
somebody corrects me and my brain goes, my life is a lie.
Yeah.
I'm
Oh,
like,
yeah.
what? Scrapula. My dad will never let me go
And
that.
Ed's a Minnesotan too. Anderson. All you freaking Minnesotans.
Yeah, yeah.
Florida Morgan. Ed. There's a bunch of
Wait, Ed's from Minnesota?
Yeah.
You never told me?
Yeah.
Ed is from
I
Minnesota.
owe you a beer, Ed.
It's
true,
from
I do.
Minnesota. Yeah.
Yeah.
How did he gatekeep that from me? I knew that there was a reason. I was
Yeah.
like, you're
I
my
like
people.
him.
I
I
like him.
too. Now, in this life, you're away from the Shire. You're out the Shire.
I am. It's been tough. I do miss it. The older I get, I miss family more. I'm second oldest of 7 girls, no brothers. My dad was like, you're the closest I can get, so that's right. So I hunt and fish with my dad a whole lot. And then Adria, who's not my dad's, so she's not my dad's daughter, but my dad tried to adopt her, but she goes hunting with me and my dad all the time. But I haven't gone back for hunting because going back in the winter is not as idealistic.
It's cold there.
It's cold.
It's an experience, though.
It is.
Did you ice fish?
Yeah, it's
Oh
an
my God,
experience.
yes.
So
You guys
nobody
wanna hear a funny
understands
story?
ice fishing. Yes. Go.
So my dad he goes ice fish. He does it all.
Yeah.
If it's anything to do with the outdoors, he does it. He's also the town mechanic. If you guys need one in Rosemount, Minnesota, Lockhart Auto, he'll change your oil. One time I can't remember what I wanted, but there was something I wanted to do. It was probably like something stupid. But I just remembered when you're a kid and your dad says, no, your world is ending. You're like, he's the worst human to exist at this point. It's probably like to have a sleepover, something stupid.
Right.
So I was like, what is the one thing my dad loves the most? And I was like, his ice house. So I spray painted his ice house hot pink
What?
so that he'd be out on the lake.
Are you kidding me?
I'm dead serious.
Oh my
and my
God.
dad he's a manly guy. He doesn't want to, he's a manly guy. But
Ooh, now you're on it.
yeah. I knew spray paint it pink. He's always been like the dad of all these daughters and trying to be like, I'm still a guy. So it was the one thing. And he kept it still to this day. It's still pink. And
Oh,
it's all
wow.
faded and like light pink now. And every time I see it, I just am like, this is the best thing I've ever done in life. That's where I peaked.
What
He
made
probably
him
loved
keep
it.
Like,
He
did
probably
he,
loved
did he,
it.
Like
was
grumpy
he-
old men, that's
He
me and
loved
my
it.
dad's relationship. We just
Right.
would mess with each other all
I
the
bet he
time.
was
He
so proud of
appreciated
you.
it so so much
He
that he
did
was
to
like,
keep
you know
it.
what? That was a
He
good,
knew it was a
that
good prank.
pro
I was
move.
the
Yeah,
biggest
exactly.
prankster growing
Damn
up.
it, she is my daughter.
That's what I would do.
Yeah.
But if any of my kids are listening, no, I would probably just kill you. But like, no.
He could have painted it over it.
Right.
He didn't.
No, he was proud of you.
100%.
I'm
He's
sure.
like, that wasn't good. You got me good. But every year he'd go and his friends would all make fun of him. Like, oh, Larry in the pink ice house.
You can't
and
miss
I was
me.
like,
Larry and the pink. That's a movie.
it
Larry
is.
That is a
Larry and his
Minnesota movie.
pink ice
Larry
house.
and his pink ice house.
Yes.
You go a lot of places now, though. I mean, I see you on the Face to Chat Graham book
Yep,
talk
he's speed
thing,
moving.
and the hats that you wear a lot of hats.
I do wear a lot of hats, and I have always been that way in my life. But now I finally have hats that fit me right, so it feels good.
What are the programs? What are you doing? What's the exciting stuff,
Oh,
career
man.
and volunteer in your life?
I love giving. Like whether that speaks on a friendship level, relationship level, stranger level. I like if to the point where if like I see a stranger that needs help, I'm immediately like coming over and like, how can I help? Like I'm such an over helper, and it gives me life. And so obviously the Mayfly Project is numero uno. Big love for them. I have such a strong connection with that program, and that's when people can dog on social media all they want, but man, does it bring you some incredible partnerships or relationships or opportunities. And it's a way to be connected with people from so far away. And I'm so grateful for those connections. And that's how I found the Mayfly Project. I'm on the board with Native Fish Society now, which protects like wild salmon and steelhead. I'm a big advocate for that. And just finding those communities and fly fishing is a huge catalyst for all of those things. And it's been incredible. And I'm very family oriented. So I carry those attributes into fly fishing and the outdoors too. So that's a hat. And I work for Bahio Sunglasses, which has been new, and getting my feet wet with that, which has been amazing. Learning so much when it comes to that side of the industry has been really fun too. And then I just have met so many more people that are so passionate about what they do, whether they're guides or teachers in the industry or just brand partnerships, and it's been amazing. And like obviously you guys, like I mean, if it wasn't for fly fishing, I wouldn't meet you guys. Like it's been I owe a lot to fly fishing. It's been so amazing. But yeah, did that even answer your question?
Yeah, I mean that answer. Yeah,
Yeah.
It did. So working backwards from Bahio, what do you do with Bahio nowadays? What does that look like?
I'm their fly fishing community leader. So that means I'm out there megaphone strong, advocating for like just our fisheries and conservation and finding people that are like-minded and representing the brand. I'm super lucky that honestly, I owe a huge thank you to Heather Harkavy. She's the one who introduced me to the brand. She's an amazing soul. It's a human. Like, gosh, I've never met somebody she's like a twin flame. Like I see so much of me in her, and she's such a firecracker. I love her. Amazing human. And so she introduced me to all of that side of things. She works with Fish for Change, which is another incredible nonprofit organization. And yeah, I mean, my job interview was like, come to Mexico and let's see if this will work out. And I'm like, oh, okay. Like, oh, sure.
Did you say, I don't think it's gonna?
Yeah, I was like, oh, sorry, I'm
this
gonna be
already
busy.
is not going to work out.
And it was
Are we
like a
gonna
road
fish there?
trip.
Yeah.
And it was
No,
crazy
I'm
because
out.
like that, like they got to Tabasco, Mexico, which is on the west side of the Yucatan Peninsula, and I had to come in a day later because schedule wise it didn't work out. So I flew into Merida, never been to the city before, beautiful city. It flooded, and so I was alone. I'm okay with Spanish, but it's not great by any means. And flew in, got a car rental, city's flooded. I'm literally like, no joke, water's coming in from the door. It's so
Of your
flooded.
car?
Of the rental car.
Whoa.
And I'm driving to Campeche, which is like 2 state lines, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, if you want to fact check me. I don't know. So I'm just alone, traveling at like 11 p.m. Just solo girl. I I didn't know a
Just
single
rolling
person.
through Mexico.
I barely knew Heather at that point. And she was the only person everyone else I
don't
never
know
met
if
in my
this
life.
camera's looking at my face, but I have a face. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm like,
And so,
young
like,
lady.
Yeah, but again, I don't say no.
Yeah.
So I was like, let's go. Like, we'll figure it out the rest later. But there was a moment where I was following a semi truck, and like anytime, whatever he did, if he went in the left lane, I went in the left lane.
Yeah.
If he put his flashers on, I put my flashers on. I was like, I just need to look like a local.
Exactly.
Because like you need to go across the state lines. It's intimidating, like these big like freaking machine gun looking things, and
Yeah.
they don't smile ever.
He just went through a cross guard.
Yeah.
just ran through
He
a
just
cross.
ran through it.
And
I'm
it was
running
like-
through it too.
I'm going.
It was
I
amazing.
gotta look like a local.
It was like
I mean, they're shooting at him. Maybe they won't shoot at me.
Yeah. But it was amazing. Like I drove, and it was a few hours. It was a long drive, and there's no cell service for the majority of the ride either, which is also a little bit nerve wracking. But you don't think about that. You just keep pinning it, and then I get there, and nobody's at the hotel, and I'm like, where are they? And Heather's like, cross the busy highway street. Get to like the pillar and just look out into the ocean. I was like, oh, that sounds, she's so romantic. I'm just kidding. And I was like, what the heck is going on? And all of a sudden I just see this boat like with party music pull up, and it's all of them just like, Kayla! And I was like, this is when it's validated why I don't say no.
I found my family.
And it was immediately like was some of the best relationships that I've made, like amazing best friends. Like Elin was on that trip, Piper, Jesse. I mean, I did know Jay Johnson. Jay Johnson was actually the first person I really met when I started fly fishing, and I met him
Where'd you meet him?
I met him 10 years ago, which is wild.
Yeah.
Not to age myself, but I met him in Sedona, Arizona. He did a pig farming.
I was gonna say, was it a pig farm?
Yep,
event?
and he was doing a iron fly. And him and my good friend DJ, and he's also another amazing human. Yeah, and I mean, when you meet Jay, you're just like one of a freaking kind. Oh man, there's something
unique,
about
awesome
him.
guy.
You can't help but want to keep him in your heart and in your life. Yeah, so like that was a little easier going on the trip because I didn't know him. So I was like, I know Jay. He's my people. He tattooed my back in my basement. So we're
That's a very Jay thing. Yeah,
in Oregon. He did a road trip. He did a road trip with Casey Anderson, Redbeard from Australia, Crisscross, and it was like that trip was chaos. What trip isn't chaos with Jay?
Yeah.
And I mean chaos in a glittery, beautiful way, but it was chaos. And they're like, yeah, we're gonna like crash at your house for a couple days. Like 2 weeks later, they're still there. I was like, this is 100%. I was like, I love it. But it was good. It was that road trip was. I mean, I feel like everyone, as you age, you get to a point in your life, you're like, start to be like, get too comfortable with everyday life and mundane routine. And that trip couldn't have came perfectly for me. And it gave me that like fire I needed to like want to be hungry to travel and have new connections and find that old you, as people say.
Yeah.
But it was a great, great trip. And that was my job interview for Bahio. And I had a boat day with Al, and I just was like, hire me. And he said, okay,
you're hired.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad they did.
I'm very glad. It's been amazing. It's such a great opportunity learning from him. He's got such an incredible mind. I'm just like a sponge, like trying to learn as much as I can.
So this is a community. It's cool because that's one community. This is community of peers. These anglers, a lot of it's just even weird to say the word pro anglers, but people who fish for a living, essentially, or a substantive part of their living.
Yeah, I mean, I wish that I was just only fishing. That would be amazing. But I also don't at the same time too, because I feel like if it was fully only fishing, it would be terrible. But yeah, I enjoy learning about the marketing side of things too, because it's cool to understand, what speaks to people. Because in fly fishing specifically, what I've learned the most part is, when it comes to marketing, people genuinely want it to speak to their heart, like why they love it, what it gives to their community, how it gives back to them mentally. And I'm such a big person on mental health awareness. And I'm so lucky that I found fly fishing, and it speaks to people on that level where you can have a profession. Then also when it has that full circle effect, it's pretty incredible what that has given me. Cause that is not, I worked some shitty jobs. So to compare it is pretty great. I'm also not someone that I'm never jaded on anything in life. It's never lost on me, and all these opportunities, always grateful. There's not a day I don't wake up being like, this could all end tomorrow. So every day I take so much gratitude for. So it's been pretty fun.
You're one of the happiest people I know. I think secretly somewhere you like punch a pillow
really
or
sad,
something.
yeah.
Like, no, I just like, but really, so that community, I feel like kind of overlaps with the other community working backwards in what we were talking about earlier, which is the nonprofit stuff. And specifically, there's two legs of nonprofit that you mentioned. And one of them is, the Mayfly Project. So, which is another community.
Yes,
and
it is. Yeah, that's true.
Tell us sort of about that community, because it's a different community and has a different meaning to
It
you.
is. And then that one is one that it's just, I mean, if it wasn't for the Mayfly Project, first of all, like they've given me more than I think they know, because at that time when I found them on Instagram, I 100% was like, I didn't tell anyone about my past at all. Like, no, even like afterwards, people from high school reached out and like, I had no idea. Because that was something I was very shameful always growing up. Like my mom is in and out of prison my whole life, still is. And it's, going in and out of foster care. Like as soon as I got to the age where I knew that was different than other kids. And when you're a kid, you just want to fit in. So I was like, okay, I got to hide all that. And so for the Mayfly Project, when I was on the phone with her, is an interview. They do an extensive background check and interview. And so I was just like being like, I need to let her know that I can speak to these kids on a connection level. And so I was just being like advocating for myself, being like, I want this so bad. Here's my past. I can utilize that to connect to the kids. Fly fishing gave this to me. I know it can help them. And if this would have happened to me at this point in my life, it would have been life-changing. And at the end of the interview, to be a mentor, she was like, I'm just, your story speaks to me. I would love to write a story about it. And I was like, let me think about it. And I thought about it and I immediately was like, not a chance. I was like, yeah, right. That was the scariest like leap I've ever done in my life, was opening up that vulnerability. And I was probably like 26 or 7 when I shared that. And so I wasn't quite navigated all of the healing from it yet. And ultimately, she was a huge part of me being like, I should dig back into this and figure out, things and go to therapy and stuff. I have so much thanks to give to her. And I don't even know if she realizes that. I hope she does. But yeah, she wrote a story on it. And it took me 2 years to read the story though, because I was so nervous about it. There was a lot of, it was a deep, I definitely agree. There's people that have way worse stories, and that's not lost on me either. But for me personally, it was really, really, really hard to be vulnerable. But man, when you do, can it open up some amazing opportunities to heal? Like vulnerability as an adult is the best gift you can give yourself, hands down. Because at the end of the day, you're just going to find people that resonate and hear your story and recognize you to your core. And at the end of the day, as humans, we just want that deep connection for people to see who you really are. And that's what that ultimately gave me. And I have zero regrets. I'm so glad I did it. I definitely was very scared, but it was a leap that I went for, and I'm glad. And teaching kids in foster care and showing them, a lot of them have never even been outside before. They have such trust issues with adults. They're so used to being let down, and every connection is false to them. And, most of the time it's just like, why are you here? What's your life? Blah, blah, blah. And so I can connect with them and be like, I see you, and your path isn't this. You can have so much more potential. Just because this road is what society tells you it is, it doesn't necessarily mean. Dolly Parton said it the best. If you don't like the road you're working, pave the new one. Like
That's great.
And she had a rough going too. But it's true though. Like I now as an adult though, I can't help but think about what it is in people that have that mentality to change the projection they have. And when it comes to it, most of the time it's a mentor, somebody that sees and helps them understand that and believes in them. Because at the end of the day, they just, everyone wants to be loved and understood. And so to give that to a kid that's the gift that will give me full cup, full type of feeling all the time. It's amazing.
That's amazing.
It is
work.
really, really great. It's tough, but it's good. Because I'm not gonna lie. Some kids are like, I hate fishing. So then you definitely have to be like, look at this bug. And then they maybe are obsessed with the etymology. Maybe it's just like they want to sit by the river and journal. Like every kid is definitely.
You're better at this than me, because when kids say I hate fishing, I'm like, that fish hates you. Stick it in the mouth with a hook.
Take this rod.
You should stick it in a mouth with a hook. That thing hates you too.
All right, let's put some weight and we're going to snag him.
Oh, you're snagging him. You're snagging him.
Oh, yeah, you betcha. But yeah, it's fun. And when I do teach, it's always fun. It sounds really heavy when I project it in the storytelling but that's what it gives to me in the inside. But to the kids, I'm just having fun with them. Like they're just having fun. They're feeling connected. And I definitely am giving them a resource. Cause I don't care who you are. There's not a time in your life that you're not on the water where you're meditating and thinking and processing things. Like everyone experiences that, whether you want to recognize it or not. And that's ultimately what you're giving somebody. It's just a tool that they can utilize whatever they're dealing with. And that's a gift that we'll always keep giving. So it's pretty cool.
I think it's amazing that you allow yourself, that you can mark the point in time when you allowed yourself to be vulnerable.
Mm-hmm.
And we as adults, and not just adults, but kids, like it starts when they're kids. We posture so much. And I find that people often so many times care about what other people think of them or what image you're putting out there. And so we build this like false facade that's what we want other people to see. But the reality is we're all struggling with the same emotions and insecurities and pain and heartache and joy also.
Yeah.
We all get excited about the same things, when you see the little kid with ice cream all over its face and you're like, that's so cute,
Yes.
I mean, and a lot of people don't allow
us.
themselves to be vulnerable in a way to show those things. And it would be a better world.
It would be. That's why I'm such a big, there's so much still like in society that's not quite there yet with mental health. Like it's a hard one for people to open up to. Being vulnerable is so scary because it's definitely one of the scariest thing I think that anyone can do is it's like ultimately the fear of being misunderstood or judged or whatever. But it's funny, the older I get, like honestly, the past couple of years, I've noticed now that I'm traveling all this time that I have this gift that I call, and old me would have been probably too scared to give myself a compliment, but it is a gift that I meet somebody and they immediately open up to me about their traumas or their vulnerabilities. And I've grown to be able to love that part about me. But it's interesting that we have still so much in society still that's so shameful about that side of things. And that so many people navigate their life never being able to open up. And God, it kills me that knowing that, because it's the best thing you can do for yourself. But it ultimately leads you to a happier life too.
Well, and it's the ultimate form of bravery. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's the thing
true.
About it is
no,
the
that's
thing
a good
that
reminder
we
even too. Yeah,
the thing that we project is bravery. This bravado,
like
bravissimo,
just.
like whatever thing.
But
that's not it. The ultimate thing of bravery is to open and show who you really are, and not be afraid.
Yeah, and be able
being
to
rejected.
Yeah,
right.
that's the biggest
Trust
thing.
in
You
that
have to
you're
be.
going to be accepted into these
And if you're not,
communities.
then you have to
That's
realize
the wrong
that
community.
it's not exactly.
Right?
That's the biggest
Full
fear
gum.
is people will
they
project
will.
that
Find
being
the
like,
right one.
oh,
Yeah.
that was me, my fault, but it's not. It's
It's
not
not.
your fault. It's you'll find your right people, and that's the biggest thing is like, you could change that. There's other fish in the sea as your partner or whatever,
Sure.
but it's your community too.
of-
Like
yeah.
you got to
find
just
your
keep
school of fish.
Ooh, I like
Right.
that.
Find
your
That's
school
good.
of fish.
Find your school.
Ooh,
Or
that was
pod.
good.
Pod, yeah.
Pod,
Depending on if you're a mammal or
if you're if you're a trut,
truth.
you're gonna find your.
raft.
Oh my
you know
Scots!
Do you know what? No, it's not a raft. It's
That's
do
a
you know what a
turkey.
group of
Trout.
rafters, turkey, a group of trout, a hover,
Hover.
a hover. Find your hover.
I love that.
And now you know.
And
And
the-
knowing is
Wait,
half
can
the
we
battle.
do like the reading rainbow with my hands?
Reading
and the more you know.
And is that what they said? Isn't it? Yeah,
Well, and
We're
now you
hovering.
know, and knowing is half the battle is G.I. Joe.
that was.
I love that.
Reading Rainbow.
G.I.
Reading
Joe.
Rainbow
The more
was
you know, isn't it?
something-
Take a
it was
look.
s-
It's in a book.
Book.
Reading Rainbow. Dang it. Yeah. I just want to say hover.
Hover.
Yeah.
Should we just turn into like a sitar?
So we recorded a podcast that will probably never air a long time ago with Mark
I thought you'd never share a secret.
Vorderbergen.
Just kidding.
It was
I keep hitting this. I'm
we
killing
did
you. You're so
what did we
bummed.
do? We did throat singing with
Yeah,
Vorderbergen.
so there was it's Tibetan throat singing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Wait.
okay. We're not doing.
We're not doing it because we did it. We tried
We
to
did
do it
it
for like
really
15
bad.
minutes.
It was
right.
insulting to
was-
people who throat sang.
It was not good.
So, what's coming up? What's in the pipe? What's in the future? We've talked about the rear view. We've talked about the driver's seat. What's out in front of your windshield over the course of this summer?
Another drink. 'cause I'm
Besides
empty.
another cocktail,
Do we need it? Can we make another cocktail?
Just kidding.
Can you make another cocktail? I'm gonna have another cocktail.
probably can.
That's
Do it. We got.
a loaded question because I'm such a big like go with the flow person. I definitely like I'm a big goal-oriented person. My ultimate goal is like, I know that teaching is what speaks to me the most. Like ultimately, I would love to just teach all the time. Love it. But I'm in a pretty good, content spot. Like I love it so much. And I mean, if there's like, I would love to have land and farm and a garden and animals. By all means, that's definitely on my horizon too. But
you can just come visit here.
Yeah, I'll get my fix in here. But I mean, I have a lot of my most recent goals is to be able to teach more and give back to my communities even more. And that sounds crazy because I do a lot to some people, but to me, it's like that's what fills me up. So I want to do it even more. But I also, like I was saying to you, like I grew up hunting, and it's something that I've been disconnected from for the past 8 years. And every year my dad has invited me back to hunting camp, and I haven't gone back for whatever reasons. You know, it's cold and I don't want to travel, blah, 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 blah. Steelhead fishing is going on. But so that's going to be another, I guess, door that I'm going to open back up as well. Yeah, I mean, I feel.
Do you have any teaching events planned over the summer?
Let's see.
Is there Project Mayfly stuff happening this summer?
Yes, we do that. Yeah, so we try to do 3 outings a year with the Mayfly Project. The biggest battle for me where I live is the finding foster kids, which is crazy. But in Portland specifically, it's like we have, regardless if we have 1 or 2 or 3 or 10, always we'll do it. But yeah, we teach that. I'm doing an inner city youth as well, which isn't just foster care. It's a mix of both in Washington, Vancouver, where it's just kids that have lived in the city and never been in the outdoors. Some of the kids have never even like been to a river before other than the Willamette in the city, which is, sure, it's a river, but it's not the same as like a creek.
Do you have a Bronco thing coming up? Is that something that's...
Yeah, I'm doing a river cleanup on the Gunnison River this Saturday. I need a teammate. If anyone hears this by then, hit me up. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I weirdly just like with Drew Bahio started doing the tournament style things, and I've never been turned on to that by any means. But I've looked at it through a lens of just like egos in tournaments, but it's not like that. It's literally just a community getting to know each other, sharing their passion about fishing, and nobody really cares about winning, which is so amazing with the fly fishing tournaments that I've at least experienced.
Were you sure that you were in? I've met you. You were competitive.
But I won them all.
Yeah, there it is.
I'm trying to play down my competition.
There she
Don't
is.
give my secrets away. Salud.
Cheers. Chin
This
chin.
is a shot, right?
Yeah. Bam.
No.
He's like, I made that. Don't waste it. This is the gin you made, isn't it?
Yeah.
What's it called again?
Well, this is actually
Called the Kayla?
Yeah, the Summer Breeze, but this was
Kayla in the summer breeze.
this is a pre-mixed cocktail that you just pour out of the bottle now. So I clarified a cocktail, basically.
You made
it's a
it?
clarified cocktail.
You made
really
this
good.
premix cocktail.
Yes, yeah.
In a bottle.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Did you make it in the bottle?
I made the gin down to the gin. I made it
in the bottle.
I poured it into the bottle after making it. Yes.
I made limoncello.
It was more exciting.
the first time. Remember I was telling you about when I wanted to make limoncello?
Yeah. It's
I made
Limoncello?
it
super
limoncello.
Lemon jello?
That'd be good too.
Jello.
Limoncello jello?
Limoncello jello
Limoncello
shots.
jello.
Yes.
I love how we all think.
Yes, me too.
We're all on the
I
same
have
wavelength.
missed you guys so much. It's honestly like when I'm around my people, then I'm like, I gotta leave.
I know. It's a bummer that you're leaving. Tomorrow you're going to leave. But we're going to do fun stuff today.
I'm gonna find turkey.
Yeah.
All right, kids, you want to hear how you call turkey?
Oh, boy. Here we go. Call it turkey. Kayla, you...
First try.
Here's what I think you're going to do.
The same thing.
It's because
You stand on one side of the field and do that.
And then
I'll stand on the other.
I'll confuse them turkeys to get to you.
similar to
I'll
how your
stand
dad
on the other
white-tailed
side
deer hunted with
and
you.
I'll sound like the hot girl.
It's always the hot one.
Yeah, or at least like the not chain smoker one. So
My laugh is a turkey call.
Just come out there. I'll tell jokes. I'll tell jokes in an earpiece, and then that's the idea. I'll just tell our jokes in an earpiece.
oh my
Here
goodness.
they come.
Well,
Oh my god, I'm like trying not to laugh because now I can't unhear it. Stop!
There's so many of them coming in. There's so many.
Turkeys are surrounding us.
Okay, hold on. There's one
I'll
outside.
patent my laugh and y'all can buy it for turkey calling.
God.
Well,
Every comedy show, Elin, I'm talking to you. My laugh.
We'll
gets
just call
on.
you and put it on speaker and tell you a joke. There it is.
I love Elin. I miss Elin.
He's awesome.
Oh my God.
I get to see him after this. So I land tomorrow at like noon, pack up my car and drive to Carbondale because he's got a comedy show.
Oh,
And
really?
he's debuting his film, his Permit Fish.
Oh, is that happening?
Yeah, you
Heck
want me,
yeah.
you want me to bootleg it?
Bootleg it.
Please
Yeah,
do.
bootleg it.
What day is this when?
You gonna come out? It's
I don't
the 21st,
know.
Friday the 21st. So it's
I
Friday.
can't. Damn it. But I would. Yeah, I'm here.
I have to burp.
Nice.
Yeah. You did have
Nice.
to burp.
So tell Elin
feel
that
so
we said
validated.
hi and that we love him
I
and
will.
we miss him.
I love Elin.
He is a one of a kind.
So I want to make sure to invite you back anytime you want to be here. Obviously.
Yeah, I'll be here.
But you don't want to be here in the summer.
No.
This is kind of like the tail end. I forgot.
summers
there's
can be fun,
there's a
though.
foraging class happening on the 20th of May. If you wanted
Of
to
May?
come, you could come.
Okay.
But
I'll be
definitely-
here.
Really?
Yeah,
'Cause you can come?
100%.
All right.
Right there.
Dove hunting. Opening day dove season.
September 1st.
September 1st.
Texas Christmas.
I'm there.
Yeah, you should come and do that.
When's the Baracho?
That'll be fun.
I'll just stay all month. I'll
Baracho,
just
they
stay all
haven't
month.
announced the
You
dates yet.
could stay. So Baracho is probably going to
The
be
third weekend of September, probably.
Yeah, it's usually in the
it's a long way off
mid-September,
from
yep.
then. But
I'll just stay all month.
You
It's
just
fine.
you can
come
do
out
it.
for the month of
caboose
September.
is open.
Deal.
You just hang out in the
It's a
caboose.
fantastic time to be in Texas.
Sold.
Yeah.
Yep, it really is. It's a magical time.
I'm-
The weather
I'm-
starts to get a
I'm-
little bit.
I'm
Now it's
being
still hot.
dead
but
serious.
Yeah.
I'm in.
come out
Do
for
it.
a month.
It's a
Can
little
Juniper
warm
come?
during then. Yeah, of course. Have you seen all the dogs that are here?
I feel like she's got potential to be a bird dog, even though Queensland healers are not supposed to be.
She can.
We have
could do it.
so
She can
actually
She could
round
do
them
it.
up.
She
I
could do
have
it.
this
could
theory
do it.
that we could get a herding dog
Right?
Yes.
for
Can we
West
Whale herding?
Texas,
please?
and like we could
Or
make
we just
that
have
work.
a
man.
Juniper do it.
Okay, maybe we give that a shot in West Texas.
Yes.
If
Maybe yes.
No.
like
The
she
answer's
doesn't know
yes.
to drop, but it's fine. We'll figure that out.
Chase her. You have to chase her down. We've got another dog that gets the bird.
I know.
from
I saw her pick it
Ooh,
up.
that'd be good.
I don't see any bird.
She'll retrieve. Great.
She ate it.
But she brings it to you and she goes, "You fucking want this?" Come
Yeah,
get
and then
it."
runs.
And like, no, she doesn't run away. She just side.
That's
Side
like my.
bangs ya.
That's like my young. That's. Never mind.
Never.
That's the
I knew
thing-
you were
that's the
going.
thing with
And
healers.
I shot that down with what I said.
They're almost too human like.
Oh yeah,
You know,
sure.
like that's the thing with healers. Like, how
love
do you
her.
get into my mind? How
Oh,
do you
dude.
like?
Always. I love her.
Frustrating.
She's the fucking best. I wish she was. She could have been right here with a mic right now. God damn it.
Yeah, she could
She
have.
could have.
Can we
We could have
Photoshop
mic'd
that
up.
in? You got skills.
Can we
He points at you.
clip the mic to a
I would.
headset on the dog over this way?
I would
Yeah,
die.
that would work out
Dog
real
mic.
well.
Oh, with a little begging strip.
Yeah.
A beg or a
Begging strip.
It's
a bag,
bacon.
a
How many
bag
times did I
and
hit
strip,
this mic? Sorry.
a bag and strip.
Yeah, it's begging strip.
It's a big strip. I wanted to keep
going.
going so
Keep
long.
going.
I wanted to.
It's just to the point
I
where
was there, but I felt like it was too much for whoever is watching.
They might. You never know. Some people are into that sort of thing.
there's an
What?
audience. There's an
Okay,
audience
you
for
didn't
every
ask
show.
me what your question was for me, though. Did you forget? And
Which
I
one?
interrupted and I said my favorite color.
It was the badges. It was the patches.
Oh, my favorite patch.
But we only got to one of them.
Yeah, there's a lot.
There's a lot. You got a lot of rad patches.
I love my. This is a mole
No,
I
muskie.
know you kept on
gotta
touching the
save 'em.
muskellunge.
Save
I love
them
the
because
musky one.
we did a whole show that riffed off of one of your patches. We'll do another show that riffs off another patch.
All right. All right.
In September or whenever.
So this is the Minnesota canoe episode.
Yes,
Yeah.
this is the
And
Boundary
then-
Waters. We would call this the Boundary Waters
Yes.
episode, which we talked nothing
About. I know.
the Boundary Waters. But
But it would draw people in.
I'm going to the Boundary Waters one
It's a
day.
mystery.
That's something I
Lure.
think we need to. That's something I think we need to
We
do
should
as a
just
group.
do the trip.
Because
We
I have
should.
never done it. Again, I have taken Minnesota for granted and have still never done the canoe boundary waters
You
thing.
would?
You have not done it yet?
Yeah, I want to do the
Let's
boundary
go.
waters.
Let's
I also want to go. I've got a friend
Find some lady
who
slippers.
goes and like, what the hell is
Some
that?
loons. Oh, I can do a loon call. You want to hear my loon
Oh
call?
my! Well, it's just tell her a joke. She'll do a loon call.
Tell me it while I do it.
I can't do it. Don't look at me. Look at me. Don't look
Can
at
you
me.
really? Can you do the laugh? Yes, it's that, and then afterwards they literally sound. That's why they were called the loon. Was it is?
Hold on, I never.
So do the.
Oh
That's
my god.
literally a loon call. Do it.
The
Watch.
That is the
you
loon call.
guys. The
So that's how we're gonna
Minnesota
start
is
the
deep.
episode right there.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
the
It
Minnesota
runs
is
deep.
in there.
It is deep
the
here.
DNA.
This
And
is a
then, like,
lot of
little bit
Minnesota
Scotland, even though
for
I've never been.
Texas.
That's another one of my goals.
Matthew's dad's from Minnesota.
I forgot
Yeah.
that I didn't tell you that. My goal is to go to Scotland this year too.
Oh,
I've
nice.
never been.
So it's a bucket list of mine,
Yes.
obviously with fly fishing and distilleries.
gosh.
Like, so this is
Big
like
time.
one day.
Can we go?
Yes.
I've wanted
So
to go
boundary
for my whole
waters, Scotland. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. I guess
You-
pull
you
my
are-
leg.
I know my people.
I want to go so bad. I want to go and like learn about all of the Lockhart
we have to
history.
bring your dad so
I've
because
gone
he
through
speaks the
I
language.
did DNA tests. Turns out I'm 100% that bitch.
100%.
But- Thanks, Lizzo. She's from Minnesota too.
Yeah, I could tell.
but-
More
Vikings.
Minnesotans.
Yes. Pretty much anyone you meet that you love is Minnesotan. It's just like
Just
it's gonna
count
happen.
on it.
It has
Just count
come to
on
be
it.
pretty true.
It's true.
And if they're not, they're
probably
family. They're
Texans.
just one degree of separation.
Yes,
They-
exactly.
They have family. Oh, but my family is.
I knew it.
Like Matthew.
yes.
Matthew's not from Minnesota, but
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 right?
yeah, that's true.
I love
Or
it.
it's possible they're just from the greatest country in the world, Texas.
Oh, I mean, my sister did move to Grapevine for a minute. She hated it.
Oh,
And moving to
yeah,
Texas-
Grapevine is terrible.
Moving to Texas, I never found a more genuine people. Like it reminded me so much of
I do
Minnesota.
really
So when I
feel
got here, I was
great
like,
when
oh my
here.
gosh, why did it take me so long to move here? Like this,
It is really
it's
nice.
fantastic.
I love Texas. I love
too.
Texas. I love being in Texas, except for in the summer.
Yeah.
I don't want anything to do
That's
with
the
this
weather,
place.
though. That's not. Yeah.
That's Texas. That weather, but you know,
but Minnesota, we can say in the winter. Woo-wee,
Yeah,
I tell you what.
yeah. But there's
Well, that's the thing. I
there's
wouldn't wanna
ways
be
to
in Minnesota in the
appreciate
winter.
it. You know, there's ways to appreciate.
yeah,
these
from really
things.
far away.
Josh goes to Idaho every summer, right?
Yep.
It is
I'll
true.
I'll be leaving
But
in
there's
2
ways
weeks.
to
I feel
appreciate
bad
it.
my laugh is in your ears.
Minnesota,
It's
it's
okay. He's-
ice fishing.
God, you gonna eat the mic?
I feel bad for anyone who's got to
Well,
also talk to this.
This has been badass. It's two of my
Yeah.
favorite people.
I am so happy that you invited me out here.
We love you. We hope to
can't
see
wait
Big
you
to
love.
see you again.
Big love for Texas and Minnesota.
And
Until
Minnesota.
next time,
Minnesota.
we're out.
Cheers.
Cheers.
That was me at the Tyler Childers concert last.
Thanks for tuning in to the Bunkhouse Podcast, proudly brought to you by Spoke Hollow Outdoors. If you're looking for adventure in the hunting, fishing, camping, foraging, or general outdoorsing spaces, then we are your kind of people. We offer classes and host hunting and fishing trips that can be tailored to any skill level. These fantastic experiences take place at Spoke Hollow Ranch, located just outside of Austin, Texas, and beyond at the various Spoke Hollow outposts and hosted haunts around the good old US of A. Interested in learning more? Hop over to spokehollow.com. That's SPOKEHOLLOW.com. Book a trip, join a class, tell them I sent you, and who knows, maybe I'll see you at the bunkhouse.